Why Sony's current line of 4K receivers suck. I bought the Sony STRDH590, and it's a very entry-level 4K receiver from Sony. But it shares a lot of the same innards and interfaces as the other Sonys of the higher caliber. Now, while I like the sound of the Sony, and I like that it has a front speaker mode where you can basically hook up the left, the right, and a sub and get virtual surround sound, that is not as good as 5.1 system, but it's pretty good and makes things sound pretty great. And I like that it comes with the microphone for doing the auto room tuning so that you get that sound and the EQ settings just out of the box instantly. However, there's one big problem with the Sony. If you're using HDMI Arc, and if you have a smart TV so that you're doing Netflix or something like that, you probably are using HDMI Arc. As soon as you go to the input and jump back to using the receiver as your input, oh, and of course I did it wrong. As soon as you go to the receiver as an input, you get this awful home screen that asks you to select what you're watching, and you have to go watch, and then you have to go game. Otherwise, you've got that ugly home screen up the entire time that you're trying to use the receiver. So anything that you win over the fact that this is a sub $250 receiver, which is cheap, the fact that it has 5.2 but will also do front FS Pro, I believe it's called, that allows you to use just 3 speakers to sound like 5.1 is lost by the fact that it's got this horrible interface that every time I go back and forth is going to be, sorry, I keep going to the wrong input. I haven't labeled my inputs correctly. Poof! 1, 2, 3. There it is. And because that delay is so long, I can't program a Logitech Harmony remote to wait for the screen to come up so I can go enter twice, watch, 1, 2, game 1, 2. And then the other problem would be that would always put me on whatever the last input was, not let me just select what it is. So the HDMI Arc back control doesn't work very well. And the fact that it puts up the screen is a real deal breaker because it means I have to have 2 remotes at all times. So I'm going to switch to a Yamaha and call it good. I looked at the Denons, but there's apparently a firmware issue with a bunch of the Denon 4Ks that can brick the thing, and I've just decided that I don't want to deal with that. So I'm going to try out one of the Yamahas. I'll let you know how that goes.